Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 6, Chapter 27. Develop Detachment. When the newborn child weeps, all around are happy, and their faces are lit with smiles. This is strange. For when someone weeps, others should not laugh. But this is the fate of man. He weeps that he has come into the world. But those who have been there long are not aware of the truth, and they are misled into joy at petty comforts and transient pleasures. Man is happy one moment, the next he is plunged into grief or fear, and the moment after he is in deep worry. When the 7 colors of the spectrum revolve together, the effect is no color. When they stop revolving, the 7 colors can be separately identified. When the 3 blades of the electric fan revolve fast and no blade is separately noticeable, they give cool comfort. So too, when the different qualities of sattva, rajas, and tamas are unrecognizably integrated, then only is man happy. Supari is brown, pan is green, chunam is white, but when these 3 are together chewed, the color is red. When the 3 gunas are equated in sadhana, spiritual practice, the result is shanti. The lamp is the sattva guna, the wick is the tamo guna, and the oil is the rajo guna. When the 3 are integrated, they give the light of jnana, which illumines all problems. 3-wheeled contraption to realize Brahman. When a plane flies across the sky, it leaves no mark on it, no streak that lasts, no furrow or pothole that interferes with further traffic. So too, allow all feelings and emotions to cross your mind, but do not allow them to cause an impression. This can be done by inquiry, by quiet reasoning within oneself, more than by listening to lectures or study of books. Little children are trained to walk by means of a 3-wheeled contraption which they hold and push along. The pranava is such a contraption with the 3 wheels of A, U, and M, the Omkara tricycle. Holding it, man can learn to use the 2 feet of bhakti and vairagya. If he gives up his hold on the Omkara, he plumps down on the ground helplessly. If he walks on with the help of the pranava japa, he can certainly realize the glory of the Brahman, which is the very substance of the universe. Naga Mahashaya, the household disciple of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, was able to escape the chains of samsara by becoming humbler and humbler, smaller and smaller, with less and less egoism, and so tiny that he could creep through to safety. Vivekananda, on the other hand, expanded himself until he identified himself with the entire universe, and so the chain broke, unable to contain his majesty. Naga Mahashaya felt, I am the servant of the servants of God. Dasoham. Vivekananda felt that he was the master. The Isha, who was idam sarvam sada soham. He was always steady in the conviction that he was that. This is called Jiva Brahma Aikyanusadanam, the practice of the consciousness of the identity of the individual and the universal. This is the real kalyana or holy right, which man must endeavor to celebrate. Egoism is the bane of the age. The identity will not develop ahamkaram or egoism. It will merge the ego in the universal. The idea of I will disappear in the thee, which is the only entity one becomes aware of. Egoism, conceit, ahankaram, is the bane of the age. In every field of activity, pride is the undermining evil. Even sannyasins and the presiding monks of monasteries are not free from this fatal flaw. Eat like a dog and wander like a fox was the lesson an old sage taught his disciple. He should not have any thought of the morrow or about where to lay his head. He should not cater to the senses, or count his age, or feel his pulse and complain of ailments. He should not celebrate his birthday, or encourage others to do so. The essential attitude that one should cultivate is to engage in all activities that are one's duty without getting attached to the work. As the sky's clear blue is not affected by the clouds or rainstorms, lightning or thunder, but remains the same in spite of those temporary disturbances. The mind of man too must be clear and clean, in spite of all the storms and stress of life. Edison, the great scientist and inventor, used to be in his laboratory for hours and even days together, concentrating on some experiment on which his whole attention was bent. Milk or bread or tea was pushed through the door, but they were all untouched by him. So great is the concentration that science demands. Consider then how much more should the sadhaka be fixed in ekagrata, single-mindedness, in order to achieve success in the subtler and more slippery sphere of spiritual conquest. That is the supreme task of man, the victory for which he has come equipped. He must be light and bright, like a lamp on the waters of the Ganga. If weight is added, it will sink and the light will go out. The weight is attachment to worldly goods, the pursuit of sensory pleasures. Just ponder for a moment how many millions of men have died so far. Have any of them taken from here anything to the realm into which they have disappeared? A man was dragged to court. He asked 3 comrades of his to come and bear witness to his innocence. One friend said, "I shall not move out of the house. Let them who want my statement come here." The second said, "I shall come up to the doors of the court, but I dare not get in." And the third said, "Come on. I am ever with you." The first is the wealth one has accumulated. The second is his kith and kin, who come as far as the cemetery. The third is the fame, the honor he has won. A valuable instrument to win God's grace. When a person dies, his property and things remain at home. They do not go with him into the beyond. His relatives cannot also go. Only the good or the bad name he has earned will last. So he has to live life in such a way that posterity will remember him with gratitude and joy. To lead the good life, constant prompting from the God within is a great help. That inspiration can be got only by constantly reciting the Lord's name and calling on the inner springs of divinity. The name is so valuable an instrument to win His grace, to realize His presence, to picture His form, to remember His glory, that even if it is repeated from the heart once in the morning, once in the evening, that will make the griham a griham, house, instead of a guha, cave. The lamp of the name, when it is lit, will illumine the household and make it a home instead of a hole. If a lamp is kept burning in a room, it may go out when the winds blow in from the windows. The indriyas are the windows, and when they are open, the name lamp will not burn steadily. So keep the outer-faced sensors close to the influences that attract, and concentrate on the name of the Lord and its beauty and sweetness. Note how happy, contented, and carefree were the great saints who revelled in that name. Jayadeva, Tukaram, Kabir, Surdas, Tulsidas, Ramakrishna. By simply shouting Shivoham, you cannot become Shiva. Develop the qualities of divinity like universal love, absence of attachment, etc. Then you will be entitled to assert Shivoham, though you may not assert it at all, for you will have no aham feeling then. Nama Japa saves man in all ages. There are some who say that in the Kali Yuga man can save himself by means of this Nama Japa, recitation of the Lord's name, and that this is the special concession for the weaker mortals of today. Probably they think that it is quite easy to reel off quickly names of the Lord on the tongue like a tape recorder. It is not only in the Kali Yuga, present Iron Age, in every Yuga, Nama Japa saves man. Bhima in the Mahabharata is considered to be a strong fighter and a very emotional and short-tempered hero. But really speaking, he was a great bhakta. Once, Krishna showed this to his brother. When Bhima was fast asleep, they could hear from every pore of his skin the sound of Nama Japa emanating ceaselessly. Dharmaraja had uttered some white lies during the war in order to foil the plans of the enemies, and for this he had to spend a few minutes in hell. When he was approaching that place of torture, his very nearness conferred on the unfortunate dwellers such refreshing peace and coolness and comfort that they prayed to him not to desert them. Dharmaraja learned that they were able to get some relief because he had accumulated merit by his good deeds. Then Dharmaraja declared, "Let them have all the consequence of all my good deeds, and let me be impoverished of all the joy due to me." This made them happy, no doubt, but Dharmaraja did not become poorer, for the very act of renunciation was such a colossal meritorious act that colossal joy was available for him in heaven, besides the quantity already earned by him. Every act has its consequence which cannot be escaped except by the grace of the Lord. The grace of the Lord can only be won by virtue and truth. So develop Satya, Dharma, Shanti and Prema. Cultivate Vairagya, non-attachment to things and persons. Remember death which is round the corner and time which is fast fleeting away. Take recourse to the ways of liberation before you are bound. Prashanti Nilayam. I am Nataraja, the king of dance masters. I know the agony of teaching you every step. Bear all and do nothing. Hear all and take nothing. Serve all and be nothing. Sri Sathya Sai Baba.